Slay, hey, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. Yo, future Slay here. Um, I've cut off a bit of the intro, so if you're wondering why it kind of starts mid sentence, it's the way I trimmed the video. My apologies. Anyways, enjoy. Peace. Hey Shy, featuring Lil Pump and smokepurpp. Now, before we get into this reaction, I want to tell you a couple things. One is about my album, and one is about these artists, how I feel about them. So the thing is about my album, a lot of things have been happening in my life personally. Things haven't been going all that great. So the album's being delayed till next month, but I promise you it's gonna be fire. And in terms of these artists, now, Lil Pump and smokepurpp are kind of in similar lanes. People, label them as mumble rappers, things like that. And honestly, if I'm being completely real with you guys, I liked their older material more than their newer material. In 2017 and 2018, or early 2018, 2017, that kind of era, I feel like Lil Pump and Purpp made enjoyable music. Purpp was more like late, was like 2017 to 2018. Pump was like, 2017 to early 2018, and then kind of scattered in between times. I don't know really, but it's kind of like that. I feel like both their latest albums were pretty disappointing. Lil Pump because it just sounded lazy and kind of thrown together, and it didn't really sound all that great. Cause just kind of, like I said, it sounded lazy and kind of stupid. Like, it wasn't enjoyable. It was just obnoxious, really, in my opinion. And Dead Star 2, the issue I had with that is that it just sounded so unoriginal, and the songs that did and very uninteresting. And like I said, I was saying, the songs that did sound like him, some of them weren't interesting, and though they had some highlights on there, same with Pump's album, the last two projects weren't that great. But I remain hopeful of this because I do think they both have good potential, and I like KSI. I think his newest music is pretty good. His last album was decent. Wake Up Call and Down Like That were bangers. I'm not a big fan of his older material, like Keep Up EP, things like that. I'm not the biggest fan of that old material, but yeah, I definitely think that these artists definitely have a lot of potential. And without further ado, I feel like I think we're good. Without further ado, KSI, Poppin', featuring Lil Pump, fuck you, and smokepurpp. Let me turn this up real quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
I'm poppin'.
Money
be dripping out water, tapping out one and I get it.
So straight off before, we got the producers in there, produced by Dago and Money Moo or whatever his name is, guys that have produced for Purpp and Pump before. Of course, one of the guys co-produced Wake Up Call with SX, but the other one was on Purpp's album, I believe, and the other producer that wasn't on Purpp's album, I believe, was produced. He probably produced a lot of stuff, but the most recent thing from Lil Pump, I think, that he produced was Pose to Do.
I got my money in line with the queen, royalty making the credit. Nice. I gotta spend a lot, 5 figure when I put a trigger when the shopping. If it look good on the neck of the wrist, pop it up black and then carpet.
These niggas hating, I'm popping. Rock out with the Draco, I'm rocking. I sent a deal and then put up a song, and yeah, bitch, I took off like a rocket. I spent 200 on watches. I got the sauce, so they watching. I got 2 plus to get both color beans. Yeah, but you know how I'm rocking. AK, Red Dot, HK, Headshot, Kitchen, Crack Rock, Bathtub, Bath Salt, I'm serving up H.
See, that's the thing with Lil Pump, man. His lyric, it's stupid, but I like his delivery. It's very energetic. It goes well with this more of a banger beat where the focus is just not too hard on the melody. It has a melody, but it's not really focused too hard on it, and it's just made to be a simple banger beat, something too complicated. It's nothing crazy or anything, but it works for this type of song.
Drunk an A to the face. Wait. I'm out by Pink Wraith. Look at my diamonds dancing. Serving up H. Chris Hansen. I'ma go shoot up your mansion. I just ashin' Stop a nigga out, need boots. Hold you auto on both coops. Order me one ton soup. Why fuck one if I can fuck 2? Look at my wrist, Corona. My neck got Ebola. Doing drop bars in the Yoda. Poured up a 7.
Buddy. Look at my wrist, Corona. Look at my neck, Ebola. Buddy. This is a lyrical masterpiece, man. I don't know what any of you are thinking, because that's obviously what I'm going to say. Oh, okay. But for real, I mean, it's kind of funny. I like that Chris Hansen line, I guess. And yeah, he's coming through with the energy here. That's what I need from Pump. None of this like super high-pitched, lazy vocals over a dead piano beat or some shit like on his last album. There we go.
Like Odom, just left Webster. Fuck that bitch, don't text her. No way, I might sex her.
Hey.
I'm geeked up like Dexter.
Wanna be dripping like water, tapping out.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. You know, it just kind of reminded me of Famous Dex having a seizure. That wasn't good.
And I get it.
It was a
I got
decent
my
line.
money in line with the queen, royalty making the credit. I gotta spend a lot, 5 figure when I put the trigger when the shopping. If it look good on the neck or the wrist, pop it up like in the club.
These niggas hating, I'm popping. Rock out with the Drake while I'm rocking. I sent a deal and then put up a song and yeah, bitch, I took off like a rocket. I spent 200 on watches. I got the sauce so they watching. I got 2 glasses to get both color beams. Yeah, bitch, you know how I'm rocking.
I'm so ahead of the game, already making a sequel. Easy to beat that I'm winning the.
Ooh, nice line. So ahead of the game, already making a sequel. So ahead of everyone, I'm already like, there's already a new me ahead of them. Nice.
Levels, gotta show how we're not equal. I got a team for the yacht, I got a team for the PJ. Got my account and show me my capital when he came back with an essay. I got a juice when I'm getting the women. Moving on like a relay. Fish him out with a big hook. Wanna fight, get a checkbook. Winning and doing illegal. No one can fuck my people. I'm in the lane where the evils push me up. Call me the Deagle. Wanna be dripping like water, tapping out winning.
Pushing me up, Deagle. Like, yeah. Pretty standard verse from KSI. Nice flow on it. There's not really too much to say about that. Pretty, delivery was good throughout it. And then for Lil Pump's verse, standard good Lil Pump, I think is how I'd put it. Standard good Lil Pump. Because I feel like there's a good Lil Pump and a bad Lil Pump. The good Lil Pump is relatively quick. He's got a lot of energy in his delivery, and he's just saying stupid shit that sticks to you. The bad Lil Pump is either just sounds really whiny or annoying, or just doesn't say anything really and just kind of mumbles on a track and has like a really dead flow. Because in my opinion, Pump's biggest strength is having that energetic cadence and that flow to him.
I get it. I got my money in line with the queen, royalty making the credit. I gotta spend a lot, 5 figure when I put the trigger when the shopping. If it look good on the neck or the wrist, pop it up like in the club.
These niggas hating, I'm popping. Rock out with the Drake while I'm rocking. I sent a deal and then put up a song and yeah, bitch, I took off like a rocket. I spent 200 on watches. I got the sauce so they watching. I got 2 glasses to get both color beams. Yeah, bitch, you know how I'm rocking. Bitches little pepper now walking it, bit 50 G's in my pocket. Walking the.
I like that little flow he went to and before the beat kind of probably started again. And notice how the bass kind of goes.
Circle of hoes, cause bitch, I've been known on the topic.
Okay,
my shooter gon' bust into melon if I put some G's in his pocket. And fuck all that election and shit, cause my shooter go straight to your noggin. I pop my 9 in his bitch. I probably pipe on his bitch. And if a nigga try me to, you know he gon' die. I got slime in it, bitch. I stay 10 toes, play hoes like Nintendo. I can't hop in, there's no tinted windows.
I feel like Purpp's flow towards the end there and the little parts was a little bit off. I don't know if that's just me. I feel like Purpp's flow is just a tiny bit off. It still sounds really nice. I just think it's a little bit off. I think he's maybe like a half a syllable off. But that's just me, probably.
Wanna be dripping like water, tapping out one and I get it. I got my money in line with the queen, royalty making the credit. I gotta spend a lot, 5 figure when I put the trigger when the shopping. If it look good on the neck or the wrist, pop it up like in the carpet.
These niggas hating, I'm popping. Rock out with the Drake while I'm rocking. I sent a deal and then put up a song and yeah, bitch, I took off like a rocket. I spent 200 on watches. I got the sauce so they watching. I got 2 glasses to get both color beams. Yeah, bitch, you know how I'm rocking.
Nice. So, what do I think about the song, let's say? First off, the production, nothing too crazy on the production, but I did enjoy how it was, standard banger production. I think, how Purpp described the beat for 1, 2, 3, how, producer been making some stuff like a little bit too complicated and stuff. I think that's kind of a good description for this, how Purpp described that. It's banger production, but it's not really too complicated. It's nothing crazy, but it's banger production. It works for what it is. Now, let's go over the artists and their performances, starting with KSI. I think KSI, even though his verse might have been the shortest, I know Pump's was probably the longest. His verse was might have been the shortest. But you know, he can maintain a good flow, good delivery on it. Standard KSI banger stuff, I guess. But to be honest, I enjoy that, and I prefer a beat like this over a beat to something like Down Like That. Don't get me wrong, Down Like That had a good production. It was definitely well produced. Essex did a good job in production, but I prefer this type of beat with making a banger verse. You know, I just prefer this type of beat with this type of stuff. So yeah, KSI did a decent job. smokepurpp, like I said, his flow is a little off at times. I feel like just maybe half a syllable changing between those flows would have helped him quite a bit. But overall, his performance wasn't bad or anything. It was decent. And he did not sound like, you know, Kamethazine or anything. And there's probably going to be no auto-tune in this, so I guess no opportunity to sound like Travis Scott. Lil Pump probably had the best verse on the song, in my opinion. He had a good, energetic flow, and he had a few nice lines, too. He had the Chris Hansen bar, the Dexter bar, and, of course, the Corolla and Ebola lines that made me laugh. And in terms of lines as well, KSI had the one where he's talking about a sequel. You know, he's talking about, I'm so ahead of the game, they're already making a sequel. Purpp, I don't really think had any specific lines that really stood out to me. The only thing I kind of got from that was, I remember on Dirty Dirty, he rhymed watching, or watches or something, like 3 times, and he rhymed watches. I said, like, I got the sauce so they watching, or I spent 200 on watches, I got the sauce so they watching. So that kind of reminded me of that, but didn't really stand out or anything on its own. One thing I'll say as well is when Purpp was entering into his part, I liked the transition between his part of the hook and his verse. I enjoyed how he had that kind of faster flow to it, and the bass kind of went like and it kind of went through like that. It was a nice transition in my opinion. But yeah, so overall, what would I give this song? I give this song, I would say, a 7.5 out of 10. It's a solid song. It's nothing perfect, and like I said, Purpp might be a little bit off at times, but it is a banger. It's nothing amazing. There are definitely plenty of songs that you could probably get around the same enjoyment from, but it's always nice to get a song that you enjoy. So it's been your boy SV coming out of retirement. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction of me reacting to smokepurpp, Lil Pump, and KSI. And yeah, see y'all later. Peace. Slay. Motherfucker, high key 2020 finna be in my ear, bro. Walk on the Gucci shirt off a good Mars. Song of the year, last year that was start. Chop on me finna shoot like a dart. Get in my way, you get popped like a tart. Walk on the Gucci shirt off a good Mars. Song of the year, last year that was start. Chop on me finna shoot like a dart. Get in my way, you get popped like a tart.